Hi, we're back in black and white this week for a special solo weekly Sizzle. Thought I'd talk about my 3 favorite stories from 1851 this week. The first one is about everyone's favorite pork product, bacon. Bacon has been almost as popular on the internet as cats since the invention of the internet, which is pretty darn popular. It's a trend that's just been in pop culture for a long time, especially among young people, that bacon makes everything better. There's a reason that you can find bacon-flavored vodka on the market. And a recent report highlighted that this isn't a trend that's going away anytime soon, that even in a more health-conscious today, people still love bacon. And I think it's an interesting story because it's an easy way for franchises of all stripes to incorporate something that they know people will want into their products. Adding bacon to a cheeseburger is about the easiest thing to do on earth, and somehow it makes it exponentially more attractive to consumers. So I think it's an interesting story and an interesting trend for franchise leaders to stay abreast of. The second story I want to talk about concerns Generation Z. Now, millennials is something that everyone in the news media is talking about constantly because they are next in line, generationally speaking, to be the next forefront of franchising. So it seems like every other week you're reading some think piece about how to appeal to millennials, what millennials are thinking, the difference between millennials and baby boomers. What people are losing sight of is there's a whole other generation right after millennials that is rapidly growing, known as Generation Z. A recent survey from Northwestern University showed that 63% of survey respondents wanted college classes that dealt with entrepreneurship or learning how to run your own business. Meanwhile, 42% said they expect to work for themselves one day. These numbers are a lot higher than what you'd find from the millennial generation, and it appears that Gen Z is predisposed to want to run their own businesses, to be entrepreneurs, and obviously that makes them a really good fit for franchising. And final 1851 story I want to discuss has to do with communication, which is probably the most important part of a successful business, no matter whether it's a franchise or any other kind of business endeavor. Communicating can be kind of tricky when it comes to franchising though, because I feel like many franchisees assume it's always on the franchisor to make sure lines of communication are open. However, it's a two-way street, and it's important for franchisees to do everything they can to not only make sure they're communicating correctly with franchisors, but become involved with the brand to make sure that they're always up to date and that their businesses are running at their full capacity and full potential. There are a lot of easy things franchisees can do to make sure that they're more involved in communicating on a regular basis. These include attending conferences, taking advantage of franchise field support members, signing up for franchise newsletters, and just generally being more involved and hands-on with the company. This makes it easier to communicate with those above them, and it also makes sure that they're always in line with what's best for their business. It's a win-win for everyone involved, and I think it's worth readers taking a second look at. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you next week.
Oh my God, this is getting so confusing.
Come on, they're oh, God. All right.